Hi, Teresa here. I hope you're all keeping well there, and I hope your loved ones are well and safe at the moment. So this video is a little updated coping with COVID-19 anxiety video. I've done one before, you might have seen it, and if you have, you might notice some recurring themes today, and that's okay because some of the advice I give will remain the same. So the first thing I want to say to anybody who's struggling at the moment with feeling anxious about COVID-19 is don't worry. And you may immediately think, well, hang on, there's awful things going on, something terrible could happen to me or my family. Don't worry sounds really trite and it sounds wrong. But when I say don't worry, I don't mean everything's fine. I just mean that worrying will do absolutely nothing to help you. It won't help your loved ones. It won't help the wider community. I've learned the hard way over the years that worrying does nothing to fix the thing you're worried about at all. So let's scrap things out of our lives that are completely useless. Let's get rid, and worrying is completely useless. Now, it takes practice and time to catch worrisome thoughts and go, actually, no, not today, I'm not having it, and shift your thoughts in another direction. So for me, I think, no, I'm not going to worry about what I can't control or what might happen. I'm going to shift my focus towards what I can do. So in this instance, what I do is focus on what I am in control of. It's kind of disconcerting for us all at the moment to be in this crisis, and you can't fix it. You can't make it go away. You don't know, when your routine is going to get back to normal, all that jazz. There's a bit of a sense of a lack of control, and it's not very nice. It's unsettling. So shift your focus to what you can control instead. So you can control your own actions, and you can do things that will help stop the spread of COVID-19 and get things back to normal quicker. So you can follow the guidelines. You can keep your hands clean, don't touch your face, coughing and sneezing into the elbow, interacting as little as possible with people from outside of your own home, just for the moment. And, when you're out for a walk, practicing social distancing, all that jazz, following the guidelines, that's something you can do. So focus on the things you can control, and that gives me and a lot of other people a sense of comfort. So I'd advise you strongly to do that. Get in the habit of saying no to the worry and shift the focus back to something you can take control of. And then do nice things for yourself. If you can, if you have some time on your hands and you're at home, do something nice for yourself. Run a hot bath, light some candles, relax with a book, watch your favorite show. If you're at home with family, maybe if you're not all killing each other, play a game, interact with each other in a nice way, On that subject, I never touched on this before. I'm not a parent, but I saw other parents online. I have seen other parents online stressing about that they're not doing enough. They're seeing all these videos of people doing wonderful things at home, crafts and educational things with their kids, and they just feel like they're, totally not hitting the mark at all. And I'd just like to say, if you're a parent, if your kids are fed, watered, they've a roof over their head, and most importantly, they're loved, you're playing a blinder. Don't go too hard on yourself, I think we can all realise at the moment that stuff doesn't matter very much, does it? What you own, all the cars, the money, the things in the world, none of that stuff is really important when it boils down to it. If your children are loved and they're safe, you're doing a great job. So just don't beat yourself up over that stuff, okay? So back to, doing nice things for yourself. I might have talked about podcasts before. I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I love the Blind Boy podcast. I recommend him to everybody I speak to, and I've had people come back to me going, oh my God, I can't believe how great this guy is. Might not be your bag, but check him out. Talks about mental health stuff sometimes in a very relatable way, but he's also entertaining, insightful. He has different guests on. He's an interesting guy, and he's very nice to listen to. So try out other podcasts if that's your kind of thing. Any subject you can think of, there's a podcast about it, or multiple ones. Find one you enjoy, stick it on, and unwind. Leave the world outside for a while. You get lost in a podcast like you get lost in a book, I find. your favourite shows, of course, and then very importantly, getting outside, going for a walk, getting some fresh air, and reminding yourself that the world is still outside and the world is still beautiful. Okay, we can get lost, especially in social media, in the doom and the gloom and the misery and the fighting that goes on there. You know what? There's a beautiful world outside. Go out, have a look, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I'm still here, On the subject of social media, I'm as guilty of this as the next person. You can really find yourself going down rabbit holes on the internet sometimes, Facebook, and there's so much nonsense on there. There's a hell of a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of people spreading absolute codswallop, unfounded advice. There are people fighting and arguing. I don't do that so much anymore. I might find myself getting cross with somebody, but I try and communicate in a kind way as best I can. But it can be so frustrating, especially when you see people advising things that are dangerous, So try and seek out stuff on the internet if you're on there that is uplifting, educational, science-based, really genuinely educational stuff, or just uplifting things, funny things. I love anything to do with, animals being silly or cute. Those things are simplistic, but they're beautiful and they're funny. I love comedy shows. I like dark comedy, mightn't be your kind of thing, but just seek out things that are inspiring and uplifting, funny, and try not to go down those rabbit holes of things that just annoy you and frustrate you, because it does no good for you at all. Something else that's helpful is helping other people makes us feel good. So doing something for somebody else, I always find it's not really a fully selfless act, because you get something from it yourself. It's nice to do somebody else a good turn and make them feel good. It in turn makes us feel good. Everybody's a winner. So, if you are out going to the shops, there are still homeless people out there and they're really struggling at the moment because the footfall is so low, Help somebody out, chuck them a few quid if you have it, buy them a sandwich, sit down, have a chat with them. If you've got an elderly neighbour that can't get out to the shops, or, needs their medication picked up or whatever, do that. Make a phone call, check in on people. All those things are good for the person you're doing it for, and they make you feel good as well. Keeping in touch with people, calls, texts, video calls, keep in touch. So even if you can't physically be with people, I miss hugging people, something desperate, but I remind myself at the moment I'm doing them a good turn by not hugging them, so I'm just going to keep in touch and have a chat and have a laugh. And that brings me to my final point, which is laughter. Laughter is so important in life. We need to laugh. Being serious, being somber, and being terribly sad about everything, again, it doesn't help anyone. And I don't mean that there's nothing to be sad about, of course. There are moments when we all have our wobbles and we might feel sad or shed a tear for the dreadful things that are going on in the world. But try and have a laugh, make inappropriate jokes with your family and friends. Lift each other up a little bit, because if you don't laugh, you'll only cry. It's an old saying, but I find it to be very true. So try and have a laugh when and where you can. And just look after each other. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Stay safe. And we'll pull through this, This too shall pass, as they say. Okay, mind yourselves now, and I'll be back on again soon. Take care. Bye.